Mohammed Ben Isa. We'll try d5. Okay, so he's going for some kind of maybe a Kala system. Or a stone wall. No, he's doing a delayed Queen's Gambit. Okay. So I'm playing the Slav defense to the Queen's Gambit. But in this move order, I can't play e5. Because he's already got e3 in place. If I play e5 and he takes, I can push, but he can just take it. So the win-hour Gambit doesn't work in this position. So yeah, I'll just play an ordinary Slav. I don't have to take right away. I can wait till his bishop moves. Then take. So this will go into the Moran variation. I like to support this with the A pawn, support the B pawn with the A pawn, and then push the C pawn. Otherwise, this B pawn is just hanging. It's a little risky not castling here. And opening up the center. But this is one of those positions where you need to strike, I believe. He pushes. So I could take with either the knight or the pawn. I think taking with the pawn is best. Gives me what looks like a pretty strong center. He has extra move or two in development. But I have a big center, so maybe not too bad. And welcome to the stream, everyone. This is first game, so see how we do. Still waking up, you know. So he strikes in the center right away. That's very logical. Try and take advantage of my lack of development. So I'm not going to keep taking like I would normally do. I'm going to make sure I can get castled, make sure my queen is protected in case he's the sort who's inclined to trade queens. I have a nice move here with my bishop. He can take this knight with check, so things can happen. But I don't see how he stops me from developing my bishop, so I'll probably just castle first and then put the bishop there. Yeah, especially if he does that. Definitely want to get your king out of the center. And now it's okay to take here, I think. Is it? Maybe not. Now let's develop the bishop. You have to worry about the triangulation of these two pieces on the bishop if this knight suddenly disappears. So probably have to defend it before I can really threaten his knight. So he is threatening this pawn. Let's see, what would happen here? He takes, I take. Yeah, it's not really a threat. But I could just push this pawn. I mean, why leave it where it gets in trouble? And then, yeah, it blunts his knight. Okay, so now I need to defend my bishop, and then I can unwind my position here. Okay, so I'm going to take here. He has to take back with either the queen or the rook, so he's going to lose a piece, huh? He's going to try and mate me, of course. So we need to block the mate first. Could also block it this way. Maybe that's better. It seems forcing to put the knight on f3, but he just takes it, and I can't take back because of the hanging mate threat. But now this is hanging. He can threaten my queen, but I can move to some place that keeps the bishop defended, and he's just down the exchange here. Have to keep an eye on this. The queen is looking at this rook, so if I ever, for example, if my queen goes here and my rook takes here, then this hangs. But I can always take with the queen and keep the rook on the back rank. Force him to take with the queen, and then my rook is no longer in trouble. So I don't think there's any problem here. I think I'm just up the exchange. And a pawn, it looks like. Looks like I ended up with an extra pawn here. And yeah, he can't even oppose my queen because I've got this square covered. Let's ask the queen where it wants to go. And then I'm going to bring my knight out to a reasonable position. Just got to lift my queen off the back rank, and I should be okay. Well, thank you, Catman. Yeah, long time, Center Claus, since I saw you live. Just saw my latest YouTube video. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I figured that. That's some kind of weird autofill, huh? So I can't take the knight right away, but let's go ahead and develop the queen. I was just wondering about what happens if he puts the rook here, but it looks like I can put my rook here. See, he moves the knight. As long as it's not with check, I can actually take the rook with my... He's got the queen defending the rook, but if I have a rook behind my queen, then I can go ahead and take. Okay, yeah, he decided to get his king out of trouble. Let's put more pressure on the center here. Just got to remember this lurking bishop back here, striking along this diagonal. Yeah, so the knight moved. Good start to attack myself, I think. He has a check on h6. I just moved my king. I think it's okay. Now I'm looking at checking him here. With my knight. And yeah, after if he plays the check first, maybe you'd want to pin my bishop. If he plays the check first, then I can't take his queen, but I move my king, then eventually he has to move the queen. Ah, he wants to do that. That makes sense. So the check here, he can take it. Well, actually, he's just offering a trade, isn't he? Maybe I should just take the trade, right? I take the queen, he takes the queen. His bishop is hanging, and his knight, my knight can escape by taking his bishop. Yeah, I think I was almost fooled by that move. Sometimes you see a threat against your pieces and you forget your own threats. I mean, I don't know if that happens to you, but it happens to me. Sometimes I forget. Yeah, this just wins a piece. So, yeah, I won the exchange and I won a piece. So now I'm a rook up. He decided to resign. Yeah, there's not much hope in this position. I was just going to move my rook out of the way of the knight and then double, descend to the back rank here. Plus this pawn is hanging. Tunnel vision mixed with fear. Yeah, this happens to you too. It's something I guess stronger players learn to overcome. Okay, let's get somebody new. Anyway, good start to this stream. Start off with a win. Always nice. Let's see. I did e4. I don't know if I played d4 yet. We'll try it. Oh, yeah, I did because we had a Nemzo. Looks like we're getting another one. Oh, no, we had a classical. This time we get a Nemzo. Okay, so we get something different anyway. This is the Rubinstein variation. Then he plays the d4 move. That's funny. Okay, I think this is still okay. So he traded knights for no particular reason. I could grab this pawn here. Bishop takes, and then let's see, plays pawn up trying to trap it, and then bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes with check. And then the king has to move. Then it's my turn. I don't know if that's worth it, but it's interesting. It's 3 pawns for a piece, and his king side is a mess. So in theory, this is good. Important to rapidly develop. I'm threatening bishop here. So now this is certainly good for me. Because I got 2 pieces. Got 2 pieces for a rook. Let's bring the knight out. And let's check here. Now I can take this pawn. The queen can take here. Could just castle. Yeah, castling queenside, so that if the queen takes a pawn, I'll play rook here and bring my rook in. This should be pretty good. Still threatening queen takes c2, I think. Let's kick that knight away first. Okay, queen takes c2, queen takes here is still a problem. Ah. Okay, he is kind of chasing me around a little bit. Funny game. Knight takes d5 pawn. Leading before bishop c2. So bishop c2 wasn't good, huh? So we got to check here. Where does the king go? Oh, the king doesn't go anywhere. Okay, just checking the knight back, and then let's go ahead and take here. Oh. So I have 2 rooks and a knight versus 3 pieces. Huh. A rook and 3 pieces. So basically that's 3 pieces versus rook and knight. So he's actually material up. Huh. Start pushing these pawns. So let's see, he's going to take the king and then take the rook and then, yeah, so I'll take first. Mr. New York. Let's see. So I've got to check here and here. Yeah, it looks like I need to defend it here. If I move it, I lose this pawn. I want to keep these pawns. So now it's a rook against two pieces. And got this outside passed pawn here. Okay, so let's attack this pawn. Now, let's see. I think here. And try and chase that knight. And then I can attack the bishop. Okay, I'll go ahead and take. I'll bite. Oh, I can't take it. Okay. Very clever. Should get one of them pieces now. There was a fork if I took the pawn. There was a knight fork here on this square. When my knight was here and the king couldn't take the pawn. But I think I can just take here. Take these guys. And he resigned. So was this really winning at this point? He could have found a move, right? It's winning. Okay, yeah, there's nothing he can do at this point. Yeah, complicated game. If we go back to this initial position here, does it like this move? That's the question. Does it like the... just wants me to take a pawn. And develop. And it thinks I'm good here. Okay, so if I take here, it's still even. So it is interesting. And he would just play d takes c4, but he did this first, okay, and then bishop takes. That's what I played. He took, queen takes. And what was that? Suddenly it's +2. King. The king had to run to d7. Yeah, so having the king exposed over here is actually good for me. So at this point, I'm actually winning. Although I have to play e4. Oh, I did play e4. Yeah, so this thread is pretty big, and all I can do is gain a pawn over here. So interesting way to play. With best play, it would have been even, and so actually I shouldn't have even taken it all, but I should have just taken the pawn and gotten a normal position. Interesting. Okay, let's get another game here. Behoove. Okay, let's do a French. We did a Sicilian. Getting a little chilly. I'm gonna put on my jacket here. My sweatshirt. Okay, so anyways, normal response to the French. Nice, allowing the 1 hour variation. Okay, we got a 1 hour French. He developed the bishop. Yeah, normally they push the pawn at that point. So I can take, his bishop will take, and I can play c4. Or I mean c5, or I could play c5 right away. Let's try it. I mean, the threat is to take this pawn and exploit the pin here. Maybe this isn't good. He could take and then take. Ah, no, after the first take, then I push the pawn. That's how this works. Okay, so he's hitting here. He's playing tricky moves. What do I do? See, I mean, I could already take this pawn, and looks like I might be winning a piece, although he can attack my bishop. But even more scary is he can just take here. So if I bring my queen out, and he kicks it, then I can put the queen. The queen doesn't have any squares after that. That's the problem there. Okay, so I'm going to defend this way. See what he does. Now I can threaten to bring my knight out if he doesn't push the e-pawn. I will bring my knight out then. He unpinned, so he's doing okay. So the queen went there. So I was going to take here. I think I'll take the knight first. Then take the pawn. Then get rid of this light squared bishop, which is dangerous. It was always threatening me. Then develop my queen or my knight. I guess we'll go with the knight. A more normal kind of development. Okay, queen here, pawn up, bishop here. So everything is fine except I have I'm gonna have to castle by hand here. I usually wear black. I may have worn another color sometime, but you know, I like black. Sets off my gray hair. I don't know what he's thinking about. The knight just has to go back. Yeah. Could bring the knight out here, I guess. He wants to harass my queen, yeah. Oh, maybe he was wondering if he could play this move first, kind of change the move order here. Ah, that was it. Well, that's a pretty good trick. So I have to take, and what was that sound? It's a follow. Thank you for the follow, Statler. So the queen can take my rook here. Okay, so let's get my knight out of trouble here first. And yeah, I'm going to put my king on h7. And I'll be just down the exchange, it looks like. Plus a pawn. He could take a pawn here too. But I am threatening here to take his bishop or trap his queen. I guess it's not really trapped. It can go here. I think it's in trouble. I think the queen is in trouble. Because I have this move, you see. Threatens mate. So he defends, and then I bring the rook over, and the queen is trapped. So it was a queen trap. Ah, he didn't defend against the mate. He saw it and resigned. I could also have attacked the rook. Ah, yeah, that's a good idea too. Bishop here attacking the rook and the queen at simultaneously. But this just wins the exchange. This seems to win the whole queen. No, bishop a6 is the best move. So when I play bishop b7, he takes. Queen here. Ah, he can push this pawn. Okay, he can get out of this one. Oh, and I thought sure this was winning. So your move was better. Your move bishop a6 was better. Interesting game. Okay, let's get another one. Yeah, let's try knight f3. I don't think I've played this in a long time. A Reti opening. With the double fianchetto, I think. Oh no, I should have played. C4. The Reti gambit. Anyway, we're just going to do a double fianchetto here. Maybe I'll play c4 later. Okay, now I have to watch. Well, after he castles, I have to watch. For now, this knight is pinned because I can just take the bishop. But after he castles, and this is defended, my bishop is not. So I always have to watch for discovered attacks with his knight there. Let's go ahead and play the c5 move. He has no particular good moves with his knight, so this should be fine. And I'm going to put a rook on the c file. Okay, so I'm going to finally take this pawn. Now, I might have some discoveries here, right? I take, he takes. I can move my knight anywhere because it's an attack on his knight. How about if I move my knight first, though? It's a double attack here. I guess the problem is the bishop here. The undefended bishop. Let's try this square. Yeah, he didn't do anything about it. So I was threatening knight to d6, I thought. Although maybe my knight gets trapped there. Yeah, he's going to trap my knight. Well, serves me right for playing such a crazy move. Have an idea. That opened up the square knight to c4. Because if he takes, then I take the bishop. But yeah, he probably has some good move here. I've played too many tricks here. And my bishop is still loose if he moves his knight, so. Well, maybe I could sacrifice on f7, get a rook. Get a rook for 2 pieces. Okay, so I can't do this trick anymore because the bishop is defended. So I guess I really do have to do this. Then I wonder, I guess the thing to do is to push the c-pawn here. I kind of wanted to push the e-pawn. But yeah, anyway, I need to activate my rooks. I'm going to start with the c-pawn here. Just going to double on the F file if I can. Yeah, queen c2 maybe. Defend the bishop and then prepare to double here. Maybe now I could do... okay, he just is voluntarily opening this up. Try to create as many open lines as I can for my rooks. So we got 2 rooks against 1 rook and 2 knights. Interesting material balance here. Yeah, he got his queen out of the line of fire here. I'm gonna take here, given the chance. I'm hoping this advanced pawn can be used for something. So yeah, let's go ahead and take. Oh, he just trades queens. Huh. For some reason, I wasn't seeing that. Well, I wouldn't want to take his queen anyway because it just brings his knight forward. But the end game is maybe a bit tricky. We'll see. One, two, three, 3 versus 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 versus 3. So I'm actually up a couple pawns. So I think technically I'm still doing okay here. I'm going to keep taking. Okay, so let's push this pawn. We've got a passed pawn here. It's going to be tricky because you have to always watch out for forks when you're playing against these the knights. Becomes tough to calculate. But yeah, I have 2 pawns and a rook for 2 knights. So that should be good. And as lines open up in the endgame, the rooks get stronger. So let's chase this knight away. If I get 2 knights for a rook, and then I'll just be 2 pawns up. So he decides it's okay. I'll take. He takes. I take. He's going to take that pawn. And I'm going to put my rook behind my pawn. This should be a good end game for me. Going to try and create well, actually I already had a second pass pawn. I just want that pawn to be secure. So if I push, the king comes forward, I just drop back. Okay, I'm 2 pawns up now. Had to give up a pawn there. Here, let's do the... Okay, now that check won't work. Let's try this one. No, let's just go here. Just got to get that pawn all the way forward. I can't ever take here. So let's see, I can take here. then I forget what's best here. Can't stop them both from queening now. Okay, finally got a win there. So anyway, I think this is a good time to wind up the stream. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember to follow me to get notifications for when I am streaming. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you again next time. Bye now.